So here we are, August 8th, and I'm going to do a garden tour with you. And I have no idea what to expect. I've been gone for a couple days out of town, and I wanted to get this video done because my oldest daughter is coming home with my grandson to Indiana, and I haven't seen her in let's see, goodness, it's been about 8 months, and my grandson is 8 months. So I am so looking forward to them coming, but I wanted to do this tour with you. And even though I haven't seen the garden, you're going to go with me and we're going to be surprised. And there's probably the good, the bad, and the ugly, as August always is. It is, just so you know, August is tough. Really, at this point, we're kind of wanting sweater weather, right? We just want it to be fall and to be done and to be over with. But it's not. In fact, we're still planting things. Well, it's been about, I'd say, maybe we started planting 2 weeks ago. But there is room in the garden to still be planting. And so it's just that kind of, what do we do? Do we push through? It's hot. We're tired. We've been doing this for months and months and months now. I mean, for those of us who started seeds, I didn't even start with my name. I'm Danielle. Welcome to my channel. This is Farmette Co. I am gardening in zone 5B, 6A. It's kind of right on the border there. And we have a growing season of really April to October. But I don't really plant things out until about Mother's Day as far as like heat-loving plants. So yeah, so here we are in August, September, October. My last or my first frost date is actually October 14th. So in essence, I'm on the other side of the garden season, and it feels like it. As much as I love it and as excited as I am to see some really fun things that I'm growing, I'm already thinking about next season. Is that typical? Do you feel that way? Do you not even end one season and you're already thinking about another season? I'm just thinking about how I can improve it. Better soil, better spacing, better plants, doing better with pest pressure, all those things, right? And I think that's the beauty of gardening, is that we get another chance. And as gardeners, we have this rhythm of, well, I do. Because I have 4 seasons, so I don't know where you're watching from, but it's such a beautiful rhythm, the garden season. Just when you're tired of one season, you're about ready to embark on another, and I've always loved that about the 4 seasons. So anyway, sorry, went off a little bit, but yeah, so I'm going to take you on a tour, and some beds are completely out of control. Some things aren't growing. Some things are stunted. I don't know what you guys are experiencing, but I mean, I have things that are like not producing. They got to a certain point and that was it. They just stopped. And I'm holding out hope, but at this point, I'm wondering if I'm just doing that in vain. So, yeah, I mean, as a gardener, as somebody who's been doing this for many, many years, every year is different. Every plant that I plant, every vegetable that I plant or flower that I plant has a different take on that year. Some years, cucumbers, I have so many cucumbers I don't know what to do with, and other years, for the past 2 years, I didn't get hardly any cucumbers. in both gardens, both my work garden as well as my home garden. And this year, tomatoes have been a little bit of a strange entity. First off, they were really slow to get started. Um, I planted seeds in April indoors. Normally by Mother's Day, they're so big in my house that I can't even deal with them, but not this year. They were like this big going out into the garden. I was thinking there's just no way. But they have caught up, and I have a lot of foliage and a lot of green tomatoes, but they're still slow to ripen. So I don't know if it's just me. I probably could have done better with fertilization, but tomatoes are the thing that kind of gets swept over. I don't know if that happens with you too. Like out of the gates, March, April is always so exciting, and I'm on top of everything, boy. But by Mother's Day, when everything is going in and it's full, you know, just like you're just going full steam ahead. Tomatoes, I always have hopes of like doing certain things with tomatoes, and they kind of are like, I don't know, the red-headed stepchild. Red-headed stepchild. I know, it's corny. I tell my kids all the time, I'm so corny. And they agree. Uh, so anyway, so you'll see my tomatoes. And if you remember, I don't really prune my tomatoes at home. At my garden where I work, in the chef's garden, this year I pruned really heavily. I have them growing on a trellis, and I prune really hard. And I would say that they're both doing about the same as far as production. I've got a lot of green tomatoes in both locations. Not a lot of ripe tomatoes to speak of. Now, we have a lot of time for them. So I'm not too worried, but yeah, that's one of the things that have really surprised me. My cucumbers, though, this year are doing really well. I'm so excited for those. I'm looking around the garden right now, and my squash is doing good. Cherry tomatoes are doing good, but those are all volunteer. I didn't plant any cherry tomatoes or currant tomatoes. Those just all volunteer, and typically volunteer plants do well. So I guess if I had to just give you some encouragement, is to know that every year is different. Every season is different. And it's just the nature of gardening. And I think ultimately it's beautiful because it does make you appreciate when things go really well. And then when things don't go well, it gives you a time of introspection about why. Was it my fault? Couldn't I do better? Was it just the seeds or the soil or the, neglect or, and so we come up with these ideas each year about, what went wrong, and maybe next year it'll go different. But it's exciting because I think it's like golf. My son plays golf, and he can play the same course over and over and over again and have a different outcome each time. And I think that is the case when it comes to gardening. He's going to crack up when he sees this video and that I have compared golf to gardening. But I think that was a good analogy. Because you can do the same thing, the same gardener, the same location, the same soil. You've done, the same thing every year, year after year, and come up with a completely different outcome. And that's because we're dealing with nature, and you can't contain it. You can't put it in a box because nature's going to be is going to do what it wants to do. And we are just along for the ride, really. Um, and we can, put our foot, best foot forward. But um, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't be discouraged. Don't pull out the sweaters yet, certainly, because it's way too hot. It's still hot. We had a few days that was cool, and that was a nice break, but it's really hot today. In fact, right now I think it's after 7 p.m. and it's still hot here in the Indianapolis area. Um, so, yeah, so I don't want to take up so much time talking, and I want to get out there. And like I said, this is the first time in about 4 days, 5 days, that I'm seeing the garden, and I'm going to see it with you for the first time in a couple days. And if you know that 4 or 5 days without seeing the garden can produce all kinds of things that are going to be surprising. So anyway, come along. Okay, here we go. We'll go right over here to the squash. Oh, look at that patty pan. There's another one. I told you the squash is doing really well this year. And there we have another one. Actually growing up the trellis there. And there is some of those cherry tomatoes that I talked about that volunteered. Now this squash over here is actually zucchini rampicante, and that is, oh, there we have one, a little one. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at how long that is. So the story with zucchini rampicante is it is an Italian heirloom, and it is both a summer squash and a winter squash. So in this early stage, it's a very soft-skinned, almost like a yellow summer squash kind of consistency. Very soft to cut. But then if you leave it for a long time and let it grow throughout the season, it becomes very hard on the outside and more of like a winter squash that you can store. So that one certainly is on its way to being more of a winter squash, but how exciting is that? And look at those beautiful tendrils. Tendrils? Tendrils. Tentacles. I don't know. But we have some cucumbers on this trellis as well. I told you that the cucumbers are doing really well. Got several cucumbers. And we have beans. These are the Blue Lake pole beans. And then we have the stinging nettle here in the front. A big patch of that. And here we have a trough full of herbs and flowers. We have mint and tarragon, and that's the rhubarb that had a lot of pest pressure with June bugs, and definitely need to be watering more because my poor little comfrey there is saying, help, I need some water. That's another thing with going away at this time of year when you don't have drip systems. Oh, these zinnias. Can we ever say enough about zinnias? Just beautiful. Now this is the bed where all those sunflowers were, those branching sunflowers earlier, June and July video, and they completely died off. I don't know what happened. I mean, even those sunflowers there in the background are not looking great. I mean, like I said, I had about a 2-month window where those branching sunflowers were doing really well, and then I had to cut them out. So I have a squash there growing up that was just smothered by the sunflowers, but now that they're gone, That's going gangbusters. I don't even know what kind it is because it was there on its own, self-seeded. In the front is some romaine lettuce that is kind of bolting, not doing great. Well, it did well, I didn't pick it soon enough, so that's my fault. And then some slow-going eggplant here with some flea beetle pest pressure. Usually flea beetle will hit the early young plants of eggplant and then it will jump back. Like if you just leave it alone, it will on its own come back and get a little stronger, which you can see on the top there. Those leaves have less pest pressure than the bottom ones. So again, I don't use any pesticides and I really use as little as possible of any kind of even organic treatment on everything. I just try to let them, fight it out, and it typically works out better. On this trellis, I have a lot of beans in here. Look at that. And all in here. So tomorrow's farm stand is going to have a lot of beans on it. That's my 3-part compost system. And the strawberries that are all done for the season. Okay, so here we go. Here's the tomatoes, people. Roma tomatoes here, or actually San Marzanos, doing okay. I am not thrilled because of the size of them, but I'm gonna get enough, not necessarily to make sauce this year, unless it really starts bumping up. But you can see there's a lot of green ones, so we'll see. Watering has been an issue too back here. And then here are my big slicers, but I've got a lot of green. And I do have a groundhog, and I think that's what got that. You see, a little nibble. So I've got him to deal with as well in here. I think as things start to cool off a little bit, I have high hopes for this. I do see a little ripe one here, but you see all the green? I mean, a ton of green, but kind of stunted. So I'll keep you posted on that. Okay, so here's that marshmallow plant that is just incredible. So I think what I'm gonna do with this, I was gonna cut it out, but I think I'm gonna take some of the root. I'm gonna cut out and divide it because marshmallow root is really good for skin treatments, and I'm gonna make some tinctures out of that. And here is trying to see even what this is. I think it was broccoli that never sprouted. It's not Brussels sprouts, because here is Brussels sprouts that I'm not doing so well either. And then this is the hyssop, which has been just such a contender this year. I mean, even though it's starting to fade, it's still just pulling in the pollinators like nothing else in the garden, as well as those 2 little flitting around white cabbage moths that are the bane of my existence. Okay, we won't focus on them anymore. And then over here we have the broccoli romanesco, and a little bit stunted, but I think it's starting to do something. Now, all of those should be the individual little cone-shaped florets of the broccoli romanesco, so I'll keep you posted. It's this is the first year I'm growing this, so I'm not really sure what it's going to do. On this side, I think we talked about before that I cut out all of this rhubarb down to the soil and this is the second growth of it. It has come back. Just so happy. Not that I'm going to harvest it because it's not really ripening up at all, but I can't believe it. I thought I could just cut it out and it would go away, or at least be done for the season, and I could open up this part of the bed. And I planted bush beans in here, but I see more weeds than bush beans. And then I've been cutting on this cabbage. There's a couple cabbages in there that I cut out, some that are doing not so good. This is a volunteer cherry. And then over here I planted radish and stuff. You can't really see that coming up yet. Cabbage that I've harvested. And then look at this beauty. I mean, how beautiful is that? I just love that sunflower. And it volunteered itself right there in the front of this bed. And of course, I'm going to let it do its thing, and hopefully it will drop some seeds and we'll get some next year in here as well. So over here, this is primarily a cucumber trellis with some cherry tomatoes in front, some purple cabbage. This is where the carrots were that I've harvested everything on. But this trellis with cucumbers is doing spectacular. And look at this cherry tomato in here too. I have a ton of cucumbers in here hiding. There's a little one. I love little ones. I don't know about you. I love to get them, but there's so many. I mean, doing so good. There's some under here. So we'll be picking a lot. Uh-oh, I missed a few. There's a big one back here. Oh, it's not big. It's just got a big part on the top. So, yeah, really happy with the cucumbers this year. This is the other trough with herbs, basil and catnip, and some more comfrey. Got summer savory on the end here, flowering, and under here, well, it was rosemary. It got hidden. Ouch! I just touched that stain there. But yeah, the basil's doing good. I did plant more cilantro in here, and I just see purslane, and I don't see any cilantro growing in here. But love that comfrey. That's such a great medicinal salve, or even poultice. It's nicknamed knit bone right here. I was focusing on the basil there, but this is the comfrey here, and the nickname knit bone because it actually can help with breaks in bones. So definitely want to have that on hand. And then, oh my goodness, back here is the peppers. Oh yeah, look at. So these are hot peppers. We got some Jimmy Nardello in here, some shishito. Okay, so full disclosure, completely out of control. I can't even get in this bed to like really help it along. I just had to leave it alone. And then right in front is wild lettuce, which I don't like to get rid of because I also make that into a medicinal tincture for pain. Wild lettuce is great for that. But okay, raspberry patch. I'm gonna do an upper view of this. So out of control, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to weed some of it out, but I have way too much wild lettuce in there. And lady's thumb, that's the little pink weed. People think of it as a weed, but I actually use it for medicinal tinctures as well, but a little too much, but out of control, got out of control, don't know what to do with it, so I'm just leaving it alone until I can, I don't know, maybe in the fall I'll focus on that. Back here was where those green onions were, and then you can see in the distance with the red stems, that's okra. Oh, I'm starting to see some come up. Oh, wow. That's so exciting. Look at that. Oh gosh, I let it go too long. Okra you should really pick when it's about 3 to 4 inches, but this is the first time I'm growing this, and that is so fun. And look at this pretty little flower that comes up prior. So that's fun. That's exciting. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go around here to the other side. And this is the traditional okra, which again, I've let this go a little bit too long. It's a little bit, it gets tough when it's bigger than 3 to 4 inches. So those two I need to trim off. And look at all those ants on there. Must be sweet for them. And this is the other side of the blackberry raspberry patch. Just trying to see if I see anything in there. I did harvest quite a bit of blackberries off of that last weekend. So there you have it. There is the August. Oh, I forgot to show you. Oh my gosh. Did I forget back here? I don't think I came back here. So many cool things back here. Oh my goodness. So this is the moonflower. Look at that. And it opens up and really big, and it comes out only at night. Thus named moonflower. But look at that. The green striped cushaw pumpkin squash, which if you saw one of my shorter videos, I was talking about it as being so sweet inside that they've nicknamed it the sweet potato squash, because it tastes like, it's so sweet inside, like a bright orange flesh, and it's super sweet. And you can make sweet potato pie, pudding, you can roast this, but can you believe this is growing on this trellis? And I mean, it's so cool. And here's a little one that's starting. Yay! Keep going. I mean, I would love to get so many. I do see a lot of blooms on here, so hopefully we're gonna get a lot more, because that's so fun. And I planted loofah in here too, but I don't see any loofah. But seeing that moonflower, so pretty. Back here, I don't want to forget about the tea garden. It's doing so well. In 1 month, this really exploded with horehound and clary sage and lemon verbena and holy basil, calendula, wormwood. I always forget what this one is. I have a little thing. Oh, skullcap. Skullcap. And we have feverfew back there. We have motherwort, chamomile you probably can't see, peppermint, chocolate mint, catnip, blue turmeric, lavender in the center, lemongrass, and bronze fennel in the back there. So this is a brand new bed for me, and focused primarily on tea and medicinal plantings, and it's exceeded my greatest expectations. I'm so happy with this little area. This was such a dead area in my garden last year, and then to see this beautiful barn in the background, can't beat that. Over here I have those lemon cucumbers. Poor thing, it's not your fault. I've just been kind of neglectful with you, and I need to water that, so we'll see. But anyway, so this is the back corner of the garden, and this is the overgrown raspberry patch. And then over here, I'll quickly take you, it's sunset, you can see that in the background. Oh, so beautiful. Let's go take a look at that, how that's doing. Again, it's been away for a couple days. Need to water, but hopefully it's doing well. So I make bouquets from the cutting garden for my farm stand, and my community has been supporting it so well. So grateful to that. And this is the first year. I mean, look at this. Just so beautiful. Sunflowers here in the front. Cosmos, dahlias, more dahlias, 2 rows of dahlias here back to back. And most of these dahlias were overwintered tubers that I took out of the ground last year, kept them through the winter, put them back in the ground, and this is what we have. Snapdragons, celosia that's taking over my beautiful windmill. Here we have more dahlias, celosia in the front with coxcomb in the back. Zinnia, finally! And sunflowers. These were teddy bear sunflowers, but they're looking kind of big. Actually, they haven't bloomed. Oh, and look, finally, the Lysianthus. But look at the Benari giant zinnias. Is that not beautiful? I mean, come on, zinnia, just truly gorgeous. The colors, they really had a slow go, like I was talking about, that stunted thing. This is a new bed, and I used cardboard to create the bed, and I think that partly this was my fault because it didn't have time to break down, and I think it stunted the root growth, but finally it decomposed enough. So that's something, word of advice. If you're gonna build a new bed without digging out the grass, just by putting on the cardboard, make sure that you do it, I would say, in the fall and let it go through the winter so that it really breaks down, and it's, you know, then you put the new compost on top, and then it will be, you know, won't stunt that root growth. Look at, you can see that branching sunflower in the garden way over there. So that's the whole garden, both the vegetable garden and the flower garden. And so it wasn't as bad as I thought. There are definitely some things to work on. I gotta water. Everything is really dry, and some pruning and some fertilizing. But all in all, I would say I'm still very encouraged to keep going, and I hope that you are too, because we still have quite a bit of growing season left. So there you have it. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this August garden tour of my home garden. I'll be doing another August garden tour of the chef's garden. And so I so appreciate you being here and taking time out to follow us and to watch my videos. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.